The bodies of the twins found dead in a canal will be cremated today as their father is charged with murder. Batam and Bintan could soon reopen to tourists from Singapore, but there's no start date just yet. And inflation jumps to 4% in December, prompting authorities to review their 2022 forecasts. Good evening, you're watching The Big Story with me, Hairianto Diman. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you will not miss a single episode. The bodies of the 11-year-old twins who were found dead in a canal in Upper Bukit Timah will be cremated later today. The older sister of the boys was seen at the mortuary at Singapore General Hospital this afternoon. According to a family friend helping with the funeral arrangements, the family is said to be still in shock.
Well, this case is it is a bit too sudden, and of course there are a lot of relatives for the family to accept, and of course, as what I can help them is slowly guide them step by step. Of course, they are still at a shock, and of course they are still trying to accept the fact that the children has passed on, so they are still in grievance.
The boys' father, Xavier Yap, has been charged with murder. He's accused of murdering one of the twins, Ethan, with only one charge tendered in court this morning. Journalist Jin Yao, who was at court this morning, shares more.
The case was heard just after 9 a.m. this morning. The media weren't allowed in court before that, which is when the charge was read out to Xavier Yap. So when we were allowed in and his case was heard, the charge was taken as read to him earlier and not repeated. He appeared to the court on video link because he's being held in remand. He wore a white polo t-shirt and had a disposable mask over his face. His hair was quite neatly combed back and he kept quite a blank expression throughout the proceedings. The police prosecutor asked for him to be kept in remand for 1 week, with permission to be taken out for investigations, including for site visitations. He was represented by lawyer Anil Singh Sandhu, who told the court that the family was still grieving and asked that the media give them space and privacy. At the end of the hearing, the judge asked him if he had any questions and he said no. And after the hearing, we got the charge sheet from the courts, which said that he was accused of murdering only one of the twins, Ethan, at the covered canal at Greenridge Crescent playground between 4:23 p.m. and 6:25 p.m. on Friday. There was no mention of Ashton, the other twin, in the charge sheet. So the next court date for his case is January 31st.
Meanwhile, more members of the public have left bouquets of flowers and tributes at the canal next to Greenridge Crescent playground, where the brothers' bodies were found. Some telling ST that their thoughts and prayers are with the family and everyone affected. A quick getaway to Batam and Bintan could soon be possible, with the two popular Indonesian islands finalizing plans to reopen to leisure travellers from Singapore. But a start date has yet to be announced. Now, what do we know is that fully vaccinated travellers who've stayed in Singapore for at least 14 days prior are allowed to enter Indonesia via Nongsa Pura Ferry Terminal in Batam and Bandar Bintan Telani Ferry Terminal in Bintan. They must also show a negative PCR test taken within 3 days before departing Singapore and take another when they arrive in Indonesia. Other requirements include a holiday insurance package that would cover hospital treatment worth 30,000 Singapore dollars for travellers. Europe could be headed for a pandemic endgame. Well, that's according to the World Health Organization. At the current rate of infections, the Omicron variant could infect 60% of Europeans by March. and that could signal a new phase in the pandemic, bringing it to an end in Europe. But a word of caution from WHO, the virus has surprised us more than once, so anything is possible, including the emergence of new variants. Since the start of the pandemic in Singapore, nearly 17,700 children below 12 have been infected with COVID-19, with 2,586 hospitalized. Now, on the plus side, Health Minister Ong Ye Kung says more than 140,000 kids in this same age group have also received their first dose of the vaccine, and that on average, about 6,000 children are vaccinated daily. A quick check on other local headlines. The first 4 people will be charged tomorrow with breaching COVID-19 rules at the Clarke Quay New Year's Eve party. They are between 19 and 22 years old. Another 4 people have been fined $1,000 each. The Urban Redevelopment Authority says further investigations into other individuals are ongoing. A teenager who turns 16 next month was sentenced to 5 years detention for killing his father at their Loyang condominium in December 2020. He had pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Singapore's headline inflation rose to 4% in December, beating economists' expectations of 3.7% and prompting the authorities to review their 2022 forecasts. The last time headline inflation crossed the 4% mark was in February 2013. Meanwhile, core inflation edged up 2.1%, also exceeding economists' median estimate of 1.8%. And this was driven by a steep increase in air travel costs. She's not from Singapore, but she kinda sounds like a Singaporean. While Polish influencer Weronika Heck is already a social media star, she really made Singaporeans sit up and take notice with TikTok videos of her speaking Singlish. This one in particular shot her to viral fame. Miss Heck ordering an ice cream sandwich along Orchard Road in near-perfect Singlish and remarking how it was very shook. And here she is testing her knowledge of Singlish phrases with the Straits Times.
What does paise mean? It can be something connected with being shy. So maybe it's like to me not to be shy because I'm quite shy now. Is it? K-pop? Not a type of music for sure. Because what I was thinking was K-pop. Xiao. Then I tell you the story. There was some comment on TikTok and someone say, "Oh, Angmo speaking Singlish. What's so interesting?" Xiao. Chop. I tell you, you better chop the table when you go to Hawker Center. If not, then someone will chop the table before you. Chobu. Maybe another story how I actually know chobu. Because there was some comments on TikTok. They say, "You chobu one." And I was like, what does it mean? So now I know already. Thank you for the compliment.
The full interview is on the Straits Times' YouTube channel, and it includes how she met her Singaporean husband, professional beatboxer Darnie Ng. For more news and videos, visit straitstimes.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the red button below. I'm Haryanto Diman. Join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.